She's been there, done that, and now she's set for the big leap. On Duologue next, I discover how Ridhi Dogra's inner compass aligns with a logical left brain. What's next on her well-scripted journey? Let's find out why her goals don't need boxes, but only vision. This is Duologue Next with me, Barun Das. Well, Ridhi, thank you very much for joining me on Duologue Next.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
As we do.
Yes.
How did you come to acting? Was it your first choice?
No, it was not. I often say that I think destiny wanted me to become an actor because I was studying and then I started working in an office. I was working in a television channel. And the only thing that I remember that I left from there with was, I want to be my own boss. So which profession is going to give me that? I don't want anyone to tell me how to do this program and what lighting we want and what colors we want. And I was like, no, I can't do this.
So after working for the first job, you realized that you are not someone who would work on command.
Yes, I was in college when I was in Delhi. I did a short stint with Suhail Seth in his advertising agency. So that was
Equus in those days?
Yes. So that was my first job. I did it for a month. I just wanted to see if this is the space I want to be in. And I was like, no, I can't work for other people. Came to Bombay, did my post-graduation here in mass comm, events, public relation. I've also been a dancer. So for most of my life as a child and then growing up, I was with Shamak. I was a part of his crew. And I remember I was still a kid and he had come up to me and he told me, do something about that face of yours. Don't just sit here. And I was like, I don't even understand what that means, you know. You're in Delhi, you don't know, you're far away from the glamour world. But I think little things that stay with you. And I think thanks to my training in a television channel, I was very comfortable with cameras, lights, and the madness that happens behind the camera. So acting and being in front of the camera was not really daunting. It was very easy.
So I've heard from many that a lot of actors and actresses, they started off it was by chance, it was not by design. But once they faced the camera, and then they all felt that that is what they're born for. And that's the case with you?
I think I was always, what I can go back with it is that I always enjoyed expression. You know, the expression of just like dancing for me was that. I felt like
dancing
if there's
an expression.
Yes. So I felt like even if there's a tornado, if there's an earthquake, nothing can shake me, you know. And I think I felt the same sort of freedom, liberation while acting.
So were you combative in nature or very logical? Why do you think that you're...
Very analytical.
Very analytical.
Very analytical, very logical. I love research. I think I have a lot of...
So do you have those skills? Any place to exhibit those skills?
I think as of now, I'm using them in my acting career because a night before if I have to start a new project, I am researching everything on this character and my directors are like, where is this coming from? You know, you've given us so much. Even if you call me for a screen test, for a film that I might do, I would give you so much research material.
Oh, that's very impressive. So you well prepare yourself always.
Yeah.
And do all your research.
I do.
So, but that's not the analytical part. Where does the analytical part come into being?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a Virgo. I don't know. Maybe it's a sun sign thing. I haven't really...
So naturally you analyze things when it comes to you, try and reason it out.
Yes.
Right?
Like people normally think that, oh, you're an overthinker. But I'm like, I'm not an overthinker.
You're a thinker.
I am a thinker. I always look for solutions. I'm not someone who will be in loops of what could go wrong. I always try and find solutions.
So were you ever aware about your strengths and weaknesses when you were growing up? So what do you think your strengths are? These are, of course, strengths.
Yes.
Your ability to research, your willingness to do research, going deep into a subject, be thorough, be prepared, analytical. These are, of course, strengths.
Yes.
And
so I have recognized as well. These are my strengths.
so then you came to acting. How did the first thing happen? You were almost there through your dance training, etc., being in Shamak Dawa's team. So you were 1 foot into the door already. So how did the first acting thing happen?
It was a chance I took. I was looking at changing professions, looking at changing my job. I thought, I'm done with television. I'm done with like working in a television channel. Let's do something else.
Was there somebody guiding you on this, or you were completely on your own?
I think I had just wonderful people who would Shamak was one voice that stayed in my head. Then I met Suhail Seth. He was, and still is, I can reach out to him anytime. And then at that time, my boss in Zoom television was Mr. Sunil Sajwani, who also sort of guided me. And the first television show I started with television. So I think it was just a lot of padding. It was just a lot of security I felt, because the producer of my first television show and he went to college. So they had a chat and they're like, I'm sending a good kid of mine and she's changing profession. Is it safe for her to leave this? So I think for me, it was more like, in your 20s, you want to explore. You don't want to be restricted. You want to try everything. You're not really scared to, or you shouldn't be.
So you didn't have that financial pressure that they were backing from home.
No.
So you could experiment and
Yes,
you could go around.
Yes.
So you quit that Zoom television job completely.
Yes.
And then you went on.
The doors were open. So I feel like that's a really good thing on my biodata if I ever have to have one. My boss said, you can come back if you're not happy with acting. So I did consider that for some time, but I think about 2 years into acting, I was like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do.
So you realized that that's what you are born for.
I think I realized it. I did this television show called Maryada, and that took us, we did a lot of promotion for that show, and we went to a lot of tier 2, tier 3 cities. And honestly, it's when I met women, when I met young girls, and our show was a very hard-hitting, intense drama. It wasn't your typical, it was not it was not a show just about family affairs. It was about a lot of important stuff that was being spoken on that show for that time, 2010-11. And I realized that I could either choose to just look glamorous, and of course it'll get you the money, it'll get you the fame, but this is what I want to do.
Is it restrictive in which case at times that there's a great role, great opportunity that can come to you and you don't really relate with that role and then eventually you don't take it up?
Yes, that's happened many times.
So would you, looking back, if you have to advise one young upcoming actress, would you advise the same to her?
Everyone has their journey.
So your advice would be what to someone? Let's say you're mentoring someone. Somebody came to you for advice.
To be an actor?
Yeah. And she has this predicament of choosing a role with which she relates with.
Right.
So is that something that you recommend for someone else? Or looking back, you think that if you were a little more flexible, maybe your career would have taken off far more steeper?
So I feel like I have always wanted to be doing my work from an internal point of view. I don't really want the external, what you're saying is if it had gone in a certain way which is designed, you would have probably hit these milestones.
Might. Nobody has seen. It's a.
But for me, it was always important, and it still is important for me to stay true to my inner being. Like I need to always answer to my inner calling.
Isn't that tough?
It's very tough, but it's fun. It's what makes life adventurous.
Okay. So if
I don't want the easy way.
You don't want the easy way. Right. So then you started working in television. How old are you then?
I was, I think, 24, 25.
Did you have a goal? Did you have somewhere to reach? Or you're completely submerged in the now? Because I'll tell you what happens in organizations. When we run organizations, we always say that half of our focus would be what's going to happen in future, where we are heading. We keep an eye on that. And the other eye we devote to day-to-day operations. So what I understand from you that you were very, very much focused in the now and you gave 200%. You never had specific aspirations, goals, where you want to go and a restlessness to get there?
I think I was I till date, my aspirations and goals are of course there. You know, I won the Oscar, I want to represent our country, and I want to do all of those things. But I think what's important for me is to be part of stories that move the needle, that sort of say something that is out of the ordinary, that is disturbing, that is probably not something that's spoken about. So that's something that's very important to me, and there is a lot of scope in that.
We have a tendency to pick up things from the Western world
Yes.
which are wrong.
Yes.
Like we never pick up from Western world the sense of discipline, importance of discipline, individualism, respect for somebody else's time and space. We don't do that.
Yeah.
But we pick up
We
wrong
take the popular things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you see this trend,
Yeah.
propensity amongst Indian.
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to fight. You can't fight it. So I'm very, very excited to do it on my own, in my own space. So when you say goals and aspirations, I think what I'm doing in the present moment is a goal which, you know, like every time anyone asks us around any release, they're always saying, do you think there are women-based stories now? And I feel like there have always been stories about women. You know, India has had such tremendous actors, female actors, you know, right from the 30s, and they've always done bold work. But because of westernization, we tend to forget that. Because
But
this is a dialogue.
On the contrary, we have Western movies, Meryl Streep and all,
Yeah.
Julia Roberts. They've got films which are landmark.
Yeah.
There are, though I've heard somewhere Sharon Stone is complaining about the disparity of pay, even in the Western world. But we've seen mainstream blockbuster Western movies, and it's not like sporadic ones which you see in India.
Yeah.
So Western world that way, I think, had done a little better. Than
I think it's because where there's more repression, there is going to be more of a, you know, revolt. I played a grey character in television, which is like the worst thing to do, because in television, a grey character is a vamp. It's not a grey character. And I was like, no, I'll turn it around.
So how do you react to criticism?
I love it.
You love it?
I live for it.
Well, that makes us two on the set. So you started television, and you got into that absolutely submerged in it, given it your 200%, without really having any goal. That how do you make it? Was there any insecurity? Because, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, whatever it is, the women have a lesser span of their career. Many of the male protagonists actually start getting better with age, which is not the case for women.
Very interesting. I think about the time that I became an actor and I started working and television was going through a boom, you know, we also saw, and now, you know, there are a lot of actresses, you know, there's Kajol, there's Karishma, there's Kareena Kapoor, there are lots of them, Vidya Balan. So they're all pushing the envelope. They're all doing a lot of great works. So this sort of statement doesn't apply anymore, that there is a shelf life. I don't think there's a shelf life.
So you never
anymore.
felt that time pressure?
I didn't feel it, and I didn't allow it to sort of decide the course of my life, actually.
So what's driving you now?
The
now
same
that
thing.
What's driving you? Like, what's next?
There's a lot of good work that, and I think for me, I stand in a very sweet spot where I have, you know, my feet in television. I know, you know. That's
always there.
It's always there. I know the television community. I work a lot in OTT. I think I've worked same number of years in OTT that I did in television. And I've just about started doing films. So for me, it's like a playground.
How do you balance between personal life and professional life? Was marriage an instigator or an impediment?
No, I actually have been married.
I know.
And yes. No, it was not. I was, like I said, you know, I don't really put blocks. I've not put any...
So it's not a theory, it's not a trend. It happens to an individual, and the story is very much the story of an individual.
Right.
You cannot really put that as a trend.
Yes. So marriage for me was, I never looked at it like, oh, it's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. At that,
He was an actor too, right?
Yes.
I mean, your ex-husband is an actor.
Yes, yes. So at that time, that's what I wanted to do. And like I said again, it's about your inner, you know, compass and what do you want to do at that time. So if that gives me joy, I'm going to do it. And even if the world thinks, you know, like I played a lot of characters where people have told me, what are you doing? This is absolute you're just going to ruin it for yourself. I played a grey character in television, which is like the worst thing to do, because in television a grey character is a vamp. It's not a grey character. And I was like, no, I'll turn it around.
So how do you react to criticism?
I love it.
You love it?
I live for it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes us two on the set.
I told you I'm analytical, so criticism will give me something to analyze.
Oh, wow.
Praise will never give me anything to analyze.
That's a good logic.
Yeah.
So wherever you are now in your career, do you see that you are somewhere in a juncture which is an inflection point where things can take off from there? You're some kind of a springboard?
Absolutely. I feel it's a very, very interesting spot I've got myself into. Also a spot where I can now see, it's probably because I've entered films, and there's a lot more putting people in a box when you enter this. When I was doing television, I was freewheeling it. I was like, I can do what I want to do. But now I do feel like there's an added sort of, like a third eye view I have of making sure that I'm not being put in boxes.
Okay, so you have your goals and objectives written out.
Yeah.
Written out.
I mean, I do want to get into production. I've written a lot of scripts that I want to, bring out. So yeah, all of that is going to happen.
You have a set of goals. You have some kind of a plan for your future where you might shift from.
So the interesting thing is, and why I'm like shying away from commenting on plans, is my plans never work out. That's a very personal thing. So I whatever I plan never happens.
No, but sometimes let me react to it in a way. When we set out to do something great and
better.
And then I am told often, but such and such tried it, it didn't happen. So my take to that is that I tell them that when something wasn't executed well, that doesn't mean that the concept was wrong.
Yeah.
So coming back to your case, I don't think that there's something wrong with your plan always. Maybe the plans were not thought through enough, not enough time and mind space have been devoted to these plans, and therefore they didn't get materialized. So planning is something which we feel that is a necessary part of our career. So my personal advice, whatever little that counts, is that I don't think that you should blame your planning.
No, I don't blame my planning. I feel like I'm really a God's child. God plans better stuff for me than I do.
In general, I don't want to delve into your plan, but in general, what's the time frame that you're looking at to make that transition? Obviously, as you said, that this is going to be your primary focus, acting, being in front of the camera. But then the other stuff, so you have a timeline worked out, or it's just...
No, I'm here for it. So, the thing with stories is, the thing with storytelling is, it happens, when things come together. It has to be the right time, the right people, the right mix of energies, and that's when you will process any story. I have so many stories written. I have a team that I keep, I will bounce off ideas, and if they don't work out, it's okay. That doesn't mean, like you said, that my ideas or my plans were not right. The timing is not right for that. So like right now, I feel like next 5 years I want to keep acting, and then yes, of course, if in these 5 years something exciting comes up, I'm not close to it. If there's a business idea that comes up my way which I'm excited about, because there are a couple of things in my head, I will definitely do it.
Look, sometimes some people like me, we have as you said, that we are very restless, because I always feel that there's not enough time for anything. So I advise a philosophy, I advise a way of looking at things. And at various levels, I've said that you need to decide whether you should let it happen or make it happen.
Right.
So I personally feel that I would take charge.
Right.
I would like to make it happen, because if I let it happen, I don't know, it's not in my control.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I plan things out where I decide in my mind that failure is not an option, and then I tell my team and everybody who's part of the plan that whether is not the question, when is the question. We would definitely get there. While the timeline that we're targeting is X, but if it doesn't happen within X, it may be X plus delta X, but we would get there. So I think maybe I may have to learn from you and see the other side of it. I think that conviction in planning is what drives me. So maybe.
But you're also running an organization.
You're running yourself.
I'm running my own self. So I make the rules, and
now in the organization also I make the rules.
Right.
But
right.
there's not much difference, excepting that you yourself are a brand.
Yes.
And you are the only custodian of that brand.
Yes.
I don't know whether you have a team who would advise you or not. But here, the organization that I run is a brand. But fortunately, I have a huge force who are working with me and help me in my course of action. So that's the difference.
Yes.
But fundamentals are by and large same.
Yeah. I have also a huge force, and that's God.
So, but I in general let the God rest.
Oh, you let the God. So that. Oh, thank you, God. He's letting you rest, so you're working extra for me.
Yeah,
I guess.
I give that extra
I'm
time
grateful
of God
for people
to
like you then.
Right. So Ridhi, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
And I've learned the other side of a coin.
I want to know what you've learned.
One needs a mentor. One needs a guiding force.
Ekta is a great mentor. Karan Johar is very kind to me whenever I want to reach out to him. For instance, Jawan was very scary for me. I didn't know what to do. And I reached out to these people and they were like, do it.
So Ridhi, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
And I've learned the other side of a coin.
I want to know what you've learned.
I learned that there's an alternative way of looking at
Approaching
things. That it's not about everything you need to be restless. Now
Hugh, because in the times that we're living in, there's just, social media. There's so much we're told. You open your phone and there's just like 10,000 things telling you how to live, how to breathe, how to eat, how to stand, how to sit, how to work. I think it's extremely important in today's day and age, especially much more than it was earlier, where we need to know what is it that keeps me rooted and what gives me wings and where am I with it, because there's just way too much noise around us.
So that is exactly the point. That's the counterpoint. In my time when I was growing up, obviously there was no cell phone, there was no internet. So we didn't have that much information bombardment in our mind, in our system. But because, as you rightly said, social media, every day it comes up with several direction and guidance. I feel, this is my understanding and this is my views only, that one needs a mentor, one needs a guiding force, maybe one or two. In absence of that, to my mind, the second best one is what you follow, which is your inner compass. Yeah. At times, if you are delving in yourself, if you have that spirituality that you can see through, that is for most spiritual people what I understand. I think that I would need a mentor or a guide to bounce off things and figure out.
Ekta is a great mentor, and Ekta Kapoor.
Yes.
So there's her, there's Rajiv Masand, there are great people. Karan Johar is very kind to me whenever I want to reach out to him. I for instance, Jawan was very scary for me. I didn't know what to do. And I reached out to these people and they were like, do it, it's great. So I did go with that gut, their gut.
So it paid off.
I guess it did. I'm here for collaborations. I'm so grateful I met a genius like Atlee. And that's what I enjoy,
yes,
I think.
Yeah. Collaboration, networking, you get to work with new people.
Yes.
So everything has a positive side.
I worked with Vijay Sethupathi. So, I'm an artist and that's what I revel in.
Yeah, you got that exposure.
Yes. I mean, not just the exposure, but just got to meet these. What is art? We're connected. I'm not speaking for myself, but anybody who's a custodian of art or is expressing art is, I think, directly in touch with God. That's what I feel.
Willy-nilly, even I do that.
Yeah.
Finally, I say, some ad was there. No, here, everybody out, but do whatever you feel right. Finally, it's your decision.
Yes.
You would be responsible for every decision that you take.
Yes.
So pluses and minuses, everything occurs to you.
Yes.
So, but in my case, many times, because there's a big organization the big brand. So my decision making may influence more people than just me.
Yes.
So I need to be a little more methodical in my decision making.
You need to be more out there.
More out there, and there has to be a logic.
Yeah.
There has to be a logic. It's not that I can't just go take a decision saying that my inner compass said that and have to and then it gets blasted. So I can't do
They'll
that.
be like, what's going on?
What's going on? Absolutely. So I have to have some method to that.
Yes, of
but
course.
you actors like you, and more importantly, that I think your work is not cut and dried like us. It's not logic to that extent. You work to a large extent with your...
I mean, we're selling dreams, right?
On the right side of brain.
Yes.
That's what you're utilizing. We apply the left side of our brain, and more analysis, more calculations, etc.
Like, I feel like, you know, I mean, the reason why I sort of don't talk about this so openly is because it's always taken very wrongly, you know, activism, you know, this, she wants to stand up for women, and so I want to like be quiet about it. I want to silently do my work, and I love meeting girls and, you know, women who tell me you made a difference to my life. I took this decision, like going back to the first time when I was doing Maryada, and I went to this family, I remember, in Indore, Bhopal, I don't know. But, you know, they said that your character actually made a difference to my daughter's life, and she's made a decision to study. That really moved me.
Before winding up, I want to ask you, and as much as you can share that with me, 5 years down the line, if you have to visualize yourself, visualize, no planning and all. So what would you visualize as? Something like you said that you already have one Oscar trophy in your cupboard, or Filmfare, or the National Award. You are a successful storyteller. Here you are part of the story, but when you get into production, direction, etc. So how do you visualize yourself?
Yes, I do want to tell stories about humanity. I do want to tell stories that cater to women. I want to be part of, you know, there are too many women who think of other people before them, and I see them.
Not too many.
Everyone.
All women.
All of them.
Women.
And I do feel like I'm one of those people. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but, you know, you're like, nothing expects you, everything awaits you.
Yeah.
I'm that person. So
very nice.
I love it. I love it. So I can actually do stuff which can help other women sort of ignite some fire in themselves. And that's what I'm here to do.
Thank you very much, Ridhi, and lovely talking to you. Learned the other side of the coin, got exposed to it. Every moment is a learning for me. And thank you very much to come on Duologue next.
Thank you.